Yeah?
Yeah, I don't the hail or lamb this is as you know agree here, make a hail for here.
What?
About fun now, why they go my leave?
Can you imagine?
Yeah, so yeah, where do we start? There's a whole lot that happened over the weekend. There's a whole lot to unpackage from the protest, which is definitely a major thing. The president's speech after that, and the conduct of people in different places. I want to really say, yes, Lagos, we did well. We held our own quite well for those of us, for those who went out to protest at the Ganifa Park and Peace Park in K2. And of course, on some other places, I saw the police even handing out water, biscuits, and all of that. And it was good to see. It was good to see that yes, you can protest without destroying property, without being aggressive, without being confrontational. You know, so mostly in Lagos, but that was not the same in most parts of the north. In Kano State, Katsina, Kaduna State, I saw some images that were very, very troubling. You know, yeah, I mean, there was somebody who went on the traffic light. There was a government agency.
On the traffic light.
I think it was a tech agency, and you saw the chairs. There were new chairs. They were taking out stuff from the place. Then this one was one that was bamboozled me the most. See, a set of these guys just went to the slabs on the drainage. Just started hitting the slabs.
Just so they can get the iron.
Just hitting the slabs.
Crazy stuff.
Slabs.
How about the mill?
Slabs on.
How about the mill? The meal that has been set up to help alleviate, hunger in the land. And then you guys not only looted the rice, at least you've stolen the rice, it's bad enough. Leave. You looted the rice and then set it on fire. Like, why would you set such a blaze? How much money?
Generally, we are all saying the same thing. Yeah, the government at this point pointed. A lot of people pointed out to 2012 protests and how the president at the moment was part of the protest and other people and all. If you notice, if you remember something about those protests, they were all in that park.
Yeah.
Same Ganifa Park.
I was there. I covered it.
Exactly. Of course. Yeah. It was all in that park. It was quite very organized. There were no issues of this thing. But now, the situation around the world is just so, it's on knife edge. From Kenya, what happened in Kenya and up until other places.
We mentioned the UK as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You cannot be calling for blood in that kind of way. People have spoken about that. I'm going through history and look at that. Has there been revolution without bloodshed? That's what people are, But in this day and age, there have been referendums in such a way as such that people actually split if they need to, peacefully. Dialogue. And that's what the government is calling for, dialogue. Let's talk. Even if you still want to protest, no matter how long it is, you cannot destroy properties. The police have stated it. If you go and do pass weightings, you buy anything you chop, and you go see them. So
I've always just been of the opinion that I just need to know who I am backing. I need to know who exactly is speaking and what they are saying, and whether what they are saying is truly what they're trying to say. Because for the longest time before the protest began, we weren't sure who exactly was pushing I'm going to use the term agenda, the main agenda here. Yes, of course, it is a hunger process. Everyone is feeling it, even though, yes, we put on makeup and wig every day. We know we are feeling it. Yes, we are feeling it as well. And sometimes it makes it seem like, people that speak in the media don't go through the things that, because they don't say some certain things. But the issue now is, was it clear to the entire country what the whole protest was going to turn out to be?
It was. The hashtag is
in bad governance. In the north, was it clear?
It was. That's why the issue, the thing now is that we're saying people who go to hijack it, they know, everybody was clear about what it was. And let me tell you one thing, looking at everything, and this is to government, and when I say government, a lot of people, when they say government, a lot of people think about the head honcho, person in charge.
Sure.
We have 3 tiers of government. And then apart from the 3 tiers of government, and all of that, we even have, it even falls down to low. I mean, just recently we're talking about autonomy for local government areas and their finances. Even though there's talk about Oyo State deciding to move out from that formula and say they still want to go and receive their money from their state. But there's a whole lot. Leadership, I mean, the other day we saw an essay to the SSA of a particular governor. The person had 13 cars in his convoy.
The essay.
In essay to special assistant to senior special assistant.
Wow.
13 cars.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, to government as a whole, like the problem where a lot of people said is, if we are saying that everything is bad around the world, then let us sit in you. You cannot be spending so much money. That's everyone in government. And then the people are the ones that you want to take that break, or the ones that you want to bear the brunt of the global recession. Are you even feeling it? So that if we know that we are in it, have you noticed? You noticed that, you know that thing where you're going home and then there's, you know, people that you have lights with. And you notice that all of them have lights.
And
you don't have lights.
And you're
How do you feel? Then if like something happens there, everybody's light now goes off. How do you feel?
Lawmakers said they are cutting their salary by half now.
We had somebody come up here and showed an alert of 900,000. But that was basic. You understand? There's much
basic
more.
Without other allowances.
There's much more. My point is that if all of us did and we did the darkness, it's easier for us to
come
understand
together.
each other.
Yeah.
And so we are saying that not only the people should bear the brunt, and that's one of the major things. Not from every other person, leadership, from the Senate, the governors, local government chairman, the special advisors, there's just so many of them. So if I think about it, that to fuel my car, that is a 4 or 6 plug and all of that, I know how much I spend, and I see a convoy with 20 cars, and that 8 V engines. You know how much just to fuel them, and then with people around. So that's what I'm saying.
So
there should be empathy from leadership.
You know, the thing is this, there are actually several angles to look at this. On the one hand, there's absolutely nothing wrong in protesting if you know exactly what your aims and objectives are.
Which is where I was
for me, it is key.
Yeah.
The reality is people who hijack are many. Whenever there are protests, there are people who always take advantage of the situation. It's almost a normal thing politically, and it's not a Nigerian thing. However, Nigerians are looking for answers. There's
still too many questions.
There are just too many questions, and there are so many things hanging in the air. So it was really important for the president to make that address yesterday. And while some people still say some questions were not answered, I would say that it was, for me, encouraging. At least
the fact that
there was a response, yes. Yeah. And then if you look at some of the things that has been said, you know, certain things that have been put in place, motions that are being expected from. I particularly was pleased about the food issue because for 6 months, there will be, you know, no more duties on certain items, food items and pharmaceutical products. Because believe me, asthmatic people are not smiling right now, and not just them.
Medication.
If someone is ill right now, you know you're paying through your nose to get treated, and it's actually alarming. Yeah. So those were actually encouraging for me. However, there is no. However,
as long as the companies,
because those companies left the country, and then we're now buying those things through third party. So even if you remove the imports, it's just very little.
Not all of those countries left. Not all of those companies. See, that's another thing I think we also need to get clear on this pharmaceutical thing. Yes, we have big pharmaceutical companies, but there are actually some smaller ones that could do with the patronage, and they have good products as well. Maybe this is the time for us to seek out those ones and actually give them the patronage they deserve. Another thing we forget is just like Ampiclox, for example. There's the big one. And I use big because it's kind of like goes with the
it's a big pharma, big pharma.
That if you use their products and you don't get fixed, then something is seriously wrong. However, you can still get the smaller priced one and still get the treatment you need. So most times people go for that one because it's a known name, and that's the advantage of actually being an established brand. But doesn't mean you could get better.
So
you could get better without
same companies we're talking about.
They have smaller options.
There are. But it's just the brands.
If you go to the market, you will get.
Powerful.
But how many people actually patronize them?
The ones that are inhalers from.
There are.
Yes, there are cheaper inhalers. There are.
But the issue is you have to go out and find them because they're not all readily available until probably now that a lot of the.
I'm saying this because of the duties you mentioned, because some of these things that are being waived would be advantageous for those pharmaceutical companies locally to also develop themselves more. However, this is me asking Nigerians to please be kind to one another. And I'm saying this deliberately. It's one thing for the government to be saying, oh, they're doing this, they're doing that, and trying to make efforts. It's another thing for us, the people, to even have the fear of God. Yes, let me use that as the phrase. The way people are pricing things, the way, you know, I mentioned Price Regulatory Commission a couple of weeks back. because I find it appalling that things are just going out of hand. Food items, you know, medications generally, everything is being priced out of the reach of the average person, and I find that worrisome. Please, let's do better. I know we all need money. I need money, but my salary will not increase to accommodate everything, because at the end of the day, my employer too has certain bills they have to meet, and it's the same for several other Nigerians. In fact, there's a lot to say about this.
I wanted to bring it back to also parents who did what they could to keep a lot of the youth home and keep them off, you know, out of...
Parents.
Yes, there were some parents that kept... Yes, there were a lot of parents. I'm on quite a few WhatsApp groups that kept their young people away from doing certain things over the weekend. I'm talking about them just running amok, for instance, because we have to wrap it. I know we have to
continue with this, right?
We have to.
Yes, we have to. We're run past time, but there's quite a whole lot to unpack. Probably in the second lap, talk about this, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So.
Yeah, we are actually wrapping it up for this particular minute. We're going to be taking a quick break, but we have more.